We remember the day the stars answered, the day we learned we were not alone.
Well, today Poland finally saw the light and decided to fold to join us, although some reasonable and necessary force was required to subdue the hostile locals. How nice. Finally the world is coming to its senses and deciding that force is the only way to deal with the aliens, and yes, it does not matter if that decision is made by themselves or with a pistol to the back of their head. After all, diplomacy is just like a game of cards. We hope we get a good hand, and if we do everything we can to best play it. In other news, one of the leaders of humanity first, our superiors to the superiors, was killed, which is interesting, I guess. However, that does not matter. Killing the extraterrestrials is all that matters. I've been offered to stay aboard one of the new warships for a while to see the battles myself. Screw what Hollywood said about making peaceful first contact. Only one thing matters, and that is winning. Hey guys, Stealth here and welcome to episode 11. In episode 10, I did a fairly fateful try at taking down an alien destroyer. Since then, I have watched Perun's excellent shipbuilding guide, and with that in mind, I can probably make another attempt at taking down an alien destroyer, because that is going to advance the story. That is what we need to do. I need to salvage alien technology, and in order to do so, I need to make sure that we actually have some alien technology on Earth fairly intact by blowing up an alien destroyer. Now, what I have in the orbit of Earth are a couple of destroyers, monitor class. These are considered defense bombers, which I'm not sure is exactly fair, but anyway, I have 3 USMC COG class monitors. These ships are armed with a crate missile system, 2 autocannons, another crate missile. So they have a mix of point defense as well as the ability to hit the enemy ships. What I want to build now is not the battleship, which I was initially planning on building, but a ship that can actually survive. This is what Perun recommends in his guide. Make a survivor ship, because if you do not have a ship that survives, the battle is essentially lost. The battle, well actually no, it's not lost, it turns into a draw. And that's kind of the problem. You don't want a draw. You want to make sure that you have a survivor so the game considers it to be a win. This ship is going to be all about survival. It is not going to be armed with offensive weapons. It's just going to be there to defend itself. So we're going to slap on a lot of armor to make sure that if it takes a missile, it's not going to be that bad. And the armor that I now have available is composite armor, or composite armor, depending on where you're from, which should keep me alive for a while. Let's put 2 on the sides and 1 on the back. Speaking of the back, the current ships that I have are using, as you guys pointed out, a fairly terrible drive option. The ion drive. Great for long-range travel, fairly awkward and definitely awful for short-range encounters. If you want to make sure that you have something that has a bit more punch, you bring a Meteor liquid rocket. You're not going to have a whole lot of Delta V, nor will you need it, because you're just going to be there to try and GTFO in case you have to. Let's see, this is 42 propellant tanks, that's already quite a lot, or at least it feels like it. It's probably because I have a ton of armor on this ship. The alternative is a neutron liquid rocket. What would that give me? 5.3. 339 millig's of thrust. Sorry, acceleration, but we're not quite there yet. Let's go with the new molybdenum. No. Titanium. Battery. Salt water. And as for the power plant, I now have access to the solid core fission reactor type 2. I don't think I need anywhere near that much power, but it might allow for the ship to survive future encounters. Let's give it a bit more thrusters. You can actually see this changing here in the display. If I give it 4 of them, it is still going to have an okay amount of thrust. It's going to get built in 90 days, costing me only 1 support and a bit of money. That's all. When it comes to the total propellant, however, it's quite expensive. It's 628. That is quite a lot. Is there any way to make this thing slightly cheaper? What I'm currently powering is the Neutron. Also got the Venture. Let's see. This one has 20 million newtons per thrust. This one has 9 million. Weighs 14 tons, weighs 13 tons. So, arguably, this is better, but this uses water. Water is a resource I'm getting faster. If I replace the engine here... Oh, we're getting a lot. Yeah, we're gonna need a lot less propellant tanks. A lot fewer. And give me a bit more of those. There we go, 344. I know it's not a lot of Delta V, but this is enough to, well, to get where I need to go, essentially. To do what I need to do. To make sure this thing has even better chances of survival, I'm going to outfit it with an ECM system. And I think I'm going to keep the other slot open. Having a heatsink is nice to have. I'm just not really sure if I need it. You got the wheat sink, the water heat sink, and you got the heavy water heat sink. This one doing more, but then again also weighing another 250 tons versus 500 tons. Yeah, and this is fine. Let's throw another 2 propellant tanks and we got our ship. Now this is, as I am using the patrons, the LoveofaWeasel escort. Not strictly an escort, it's just there to survive. And as for a role, it's not a fighter, it's not an interdictor, it's not a superiority, it's not a... I don't know, it's not really anything. What is this going to do? You consider it an interceptor. Will limit propellant mass in favor, preferred combat range engagement short. I don't strictly agree with that. What does the interdictor do? Medium engagement range. I think that's better. Although ideally this thing kind of just hangs back, which makes it a standoff system. Okay, so I think I have everything that I need. I just need to specify what type of armor I want on the back, and we have our design. The ship lacks sufficient Delta V for interplanetary travel. Yes, I know, that's fine. I still want to save that design, and I would love to build one of those. So let's go to the shipyard. That is Everest Station. And select a ship class to build. The LoveofaWeasel escort class. 90 days, and we're good. But what I also want to do is have a look at the ship classes that I have right now. Most notably the USMC COG class, and make sure that they get better thrust. Or better, well, yeah, better thrust essentially. Because what I do right now is I'm completely unable to accelerate anywhere, which is bad. So we're gonna change up the type of propellant that I'm using here. I think the Venture is much better. This still gets me fairly awful amount of acceleration, considering that it is nice to have these ships survive, but not strictly required. I'm going to try and make them somewhat survivable, as well as... Do I really need that many? Yeah, I suppose I do. I want to try and get to that 5 point. Jeez, this is going to cost a lot of water. Oh boy. This is going to cost a lot of water. What is so heavy on this ship? Is the saltwater battery or something? This weighs 30 tons, this weighs 20 tons. Saltwater is actually lighter. Is it the weapon systems? Is that it? I'll swap out the utility here for a magazine, so I have a bit more firepower in that sense. What about changing the drive? Because this is fairly good, this is fairly better. But of course I'm going to need a lot more fuel tanks. Which one's the water one? This is the water one. This is a mix. Yeah, that's enough. Good lord, these things are fucking expensive. Holy shit. If you're gonna go with 113 propellant tanks, something has probably gone wrong. Let's not. Let's not. What is so heavy on this thing? So I got a fairly normal loadout, I would say. What is so expensive? What is so heavy? I mean, any refit that I do is already better. Let's try again. USMC cog class, update. This is considered a valid refit, yes, because I haven't changed anything. If I want to change the engine, invalid refit. Okay, the hull cannot change, the power plant can change, the drives can add or remove thrusters. But you're not happy about the drive? Required power plant. Drives can add or remove thrusters to the current drive or substitute a drive with the same classification, required power plant and reaction product. Right, so what I'm currently using is an ion engine. And the game is saying, okay, fine. If you want to change or upgrade an ion engine, you can. But you cannot change to a different engine type. So that's nice. There is really no way in hell that I'm going to be able to crank out enough thrust with an ion engine like this. So sadly, I think these ships are going to have to go in as is, which means their chances of dodging are god-awful. It's not going to be great. So be it. Alright, I'm going to skip ahead about 90 days until we complete the ship, and in the meanwhile I might be doing some more funky stuff in Europe. Another project that I was trying to work on is the Fission Platform Kit. Now again, Perun explained how these things work. Allows creation of a small nuclear-powered space station with a construction module at the ship's location. It can be replenished by repairing the ship at a shipyard. Why is this important? Well, what I've been doing so far is trying to survey a new planet that I'm interested in. That usually takes a long time. Then you want to try and build a station around it, or you want to build something on the planet, whichever happens first. In this case, it's generally boosted up from Earth, which takes forever. Easier is to send a small colony ship, and this is the ship project that it needs, the Fission Platform Kit. So what I'm going to do is make sure that we have a or several ships capable of delivering those platforms to other planets. This way, if I have a new planet surveyed, I can immediately send a colony ship out there. As for the next bit of research, we also got the Fission Outpost Kit. It's basically the sister component to the one I just made, but it allows to set up a nuclear base. So not a nuclear platform, but a nuclear base, with a construction module for the surface of a space body. So this is where you actually want to go, or this is what you want to bring, rather, if you want to make sure that you have something that can start a new colony. Not so much a station, but a colony. You can go either way. The outpost one is more for making sure that you can get a station up quickly, in case you want to try and get a presence there without having to wait for your platform to get boosted. This is a way to get your ground station, so potentially a mining site going. So let's make sure we have this one as well. It's going to take me only 3 weeks, and after that we have the project that I need, and I can get to work on my colony ship. A few weeks later, I have completed the Fission Outpost Kit. So, let's see, where do I want to go? First, let's set up some research. I want to get some better missiles, although when it comes to these weapons, I really have no idea which ones are good, which ones are not good. I still have so much to learn about this game. I suppose further torpedoes are welcome, but I also suppose that having some defenses on my own stations in the form of marine platoon barracks might be very welcome. So let's research that. Anyway, on to ship construction, or rather ship design. No, start with the end in mind. Where am I trying to go? What we recently had going was an ability to get to Jupiter. I believe we were not alone at Jupiter, because there are aliens there, so this is going to be all sorts of fun. I don't have a defensive station ability yet, so my ability to actually deploy the station is there. My ability to then defend the station is very much not. That could be a problem. Anyway, Europa has a very nice amount of resources. The only thing we're not seeing a lot of are fissiles. Io has the same kind of problem, there's not a whole lot there. Ganymede is enormous. If I can get to Ganymede, That'd be great. I can set up a lot of things here, but the site receives dangerous levels of naturally occurring radiation. Any HAB module built here will have 1.5 times its normal mass to account for all the shielding necessary to protect fragile electronics and crew members. I don't think that it's going to be that much of a problem because we're just going to be on a planet. What do I care how heavy things are? I just want to make sure I don't launch anything from Ganymede, but the rest should be fine. Callisto does not have that problem. Let's see, I think we're getting a lot of resources from all these things. That is an... Are you a moon? No, you're a small planetoid. Alright. Where did you put Jupiter? Here. I zoomed out way too far there. Okay, the other moons that we have are Elara. Sorry, that's an asteroid. But it is... Yeah, well, it's an orbit of... No, not that interesting. The aliens are at Leda, so that's definitely not where we're going. There's another asteroid over there. Now, I think it is going to be more interesting to go to either Europa, Io, or Ganymede. Or Callisto. Whatever. We need to get to Jupiter. That's the key problem, the key feature. So, we're going to design a ship class. This is going to be a new design. The key feature is going to be the utility module in the form of a fission outpost kit. There. I can bring a few. I'm not sure if that's useful, so that you can set up multiple platforms, but hey, if I can get 3 platforms mined or going there very quickly, that'd be lovely. So, where are we going? Choose example transfer. We are going to Jupiter. Which one of you is Jupiter? Mercury orbit, Venus orbit, Horus, Ceres, Jupiter, yes. If I want to go to Europa. I don't know. Low Europa orbit, there. No, that's not my origin, that's where I'm going. Okay, fine. Back to the drawing board. We're starting this journey. Let's say I started at Mars. Let's say I started at Utopia Planitia, which used to be Hecla Station. And I'm going to Jupiter. Sorry, that's Saturn, almost. Low Jupiter orbit. And... No, sorry, not Jupiter, Europa. Here. That's where I want to go. Delta V? I don't know. 15? Acceleration. I want to get there fairly quickly. 24.7 kps. Okay, the fleet is insufficient Delta V. 25 is a bit low. If I give this thing 45, it's going to get there in 46 weeks. If I give this thing more acceleration, it's going to not necessarily get there faster. If I give it like 55, it's going to only take 38 weeks, which is fine. And you can go all the way as slow as that, which would take 24. This would take 50. If I'm going to go somewhere in the middle and say I want 35, 1G is enough, or maybe even 500, then it's going to be a one-way trip, that's for sure. 31 out of 35. So it can get done, it's just not stellar. If I do not start at Utopia Planitia, but I start at Earth, this is going to take me 59 weeks. If I'm going to start at Earth, at Everest Station, it's going to take me 86 weeks. Good lord. Okay, so Mars is definitely a more interesting position to start from. And if I want to do this a little faster, let's say 40, 45. Yeah, here, 46 weeks. And if I slow it down, yeah, so just make it as much kps as possible. And if I were to somehow give it this much, I don't know, how much could you actually give it? 29 weeks, that's slightly more than half a year. Probably not feasible though, not with my current tech level. If I can do it in 50 weeks, perfectly fine. Okay, so I need that much. I need 1000 milliGs and I need 40 kps. That's what we're designing for. Okay. Requires a drive. Yes, I imagine it does. First, we're going to set up a reactor. We're also going to set up some radiators. Just the titanium ones. And we're going to set up the utility modules is done. We're going to set up the battery. This thing does not need to go into a combat situation, so the cheaper / lighter one would be fine. Let's go with saltwater. Then the drive, and this is where things get really interesting. The ion drive does make for a very interesting option here, because it is so extraordinarily efficient. What it is not is able to accelerate very quickly. Because I set this thing at 0.32 millig's, I want to get 1000 millig's. So I'm going to need a lot more. If I want to get that much, I'm going to need a ton of fuel tanks. Let's see, this was the one that uses water, this is the one that uses metal? A rudimentary ion drive. Okay, got it. So this has more thrusts. This is, well, we're getting somewhere, just my acceleration's awful. The liquid one takes the water, the neutron takes the volatiles. I have a fairly healthy amount of both. But, my god, I'm gonna need a lot. Okay, I think the ion drives are going to be more feasible at the moment. Not by that much, but it's kind of the best I get. Let's say it's gonna be, yeah, something like that. And this is going to be the Voyager class. Congratulations, you're a transport. It's going to be completely unarmed. If it dies, it dies. If it gets shot at, it's going to get shot at. It's really quite that simple. Oh, actually, what if I mix the kits? So what if I give it a platform kit and a station kit, an outpost kit? That mix could be critical here. And the last one, I could even give it a marine assault unit, but I don't think that's particularly useful. ISRU allows it to refuel in place. Repropellant at unimproved hapsize that produce raw materials. Ships that use anything as propellant may use repropellant. May repropellant at any site. This thing uses noble gases, so it doesn't quite use anything. Let's not. Okay. March to Europa is now going to take me 48 weeks. And I don't think I can make that a whole lot faster. Oh, I can take off one of those modules. That takes me 7 weeks less. So that's an option. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's go with that. If I do remove further fuel tanks, it's going to take me longer, because they're going to go with a different burn. Okay. If I give them more fuel tanks... Yeah, I just went past, like, a perfect point there. Okay. That's what we're bringing. What do I need further? Like, armor? Because I do not want any armor, actually. There. I can have 0 armor on everything. If it dies, it dies. It's unfortunate, but it dies. Okay, let's go build one of these. Ship construction. We are going to do that at... Oh crap, it's not online yet, is it? Tell me, what's the status of Utopia Planitia? What is going on here? The space dock isn't complete until another 2 weeks or so. It's not terrible, but we can definitely do a little better. I'm also upgrading the fission modules to fission reactor arrays so I can get more juice. Right now I simply don't have enough. I've also been building op centers. These provide 1 mission control, so they kind of pay for themselves, these stations. At least that's the plan. Alright, let's carry on. After a few weeks, the LoveofaWeasel escort class has launched. This is excellent news. I can now merge this ship with the rest of the assault fleet, Foxtrot 6. Foxtrot 6 contains those 3 different USMC COG class ships, and Foxtrot 10 is now going to join them. So we're going to merge this with Foxtrot 6, leaving me with one big fleet. I'm not sure why, if you merge with an existing group, it takes the name of the new group, but so be it. So now we need a target. Who is going to be our victim? Who are we going to take down? Victor 57, a Varpal Fury class destroyer. Oh yeah. It has a missile bay, it also has point defense particle cannons, and it has an advanced mag cannon. Alright, let's go and get to this target, the Rectified Rogue. It's going to take this group a while to get to that target. That is Victor 2-1 or Victor 5-7. What did I just say? What did I just say? Victor 2-1? No, but probably not Victor 2-1. That's the two different ships working together. No, we are looking for Victor 57. That's the orbit we're trying to get to. Foxtrot 10. New orders. We're going to try and get Foxtrot 10. Hello? Foxtrot 10. I'm going to try and get you, there you go, to transfer to Victor 57, which is going to take me 1 day. That's all. 1 day. Even with shitty ion engines, I can actually do it. We're going to Victor 57. Commence the transfer. Let's go get there. Let's go find some aliens. Let's go fight some aliens. And this time, we're gonna win, and we're going to survive. That's the plan anyway. We're going to go with a tight formation in a line. Archers are going to be in the back, so we're going to try and hit them from afar. And it's going to be dispersed. No, thank you. Tight is fine. I want to have my ships work together to make sure that they have overlapping fields of fire with their point defense cannons. And operating a line... Actually, a convoy might be a little better. And larger ships dispersed? No. I don't want them dispersed, that's the problem. Most powerful... Why are you trying to disperse everything? Center. Archers. In the center. Yes. Engage. Both fleets are willing to fight. Good. Let's have it out. Okay, so who do we have? Here's the LoveofaWeasel. This is the escort. Then we got the USMC Cog, the Quinyin, or Quinjin, and the Vindicator. Okay, we're going to target everything on the main group. As the fleets go, or as the ships go, my ability to get them to change direction is extremely limited, simply because my ships are pretty awful. What I can do is try and have, believe it or not, the survivor ship, or, well, the supposed to be surviving ship, point its nose towards the target and thrust towards it to make sure that it actually tries to absorb missiles. To try and also intercept missiles for the Cog and for the Vindicator. Everybody is weapons free, everybody is good to fire. What is the range to the target? Set primary target. Yes, this is your primary target. 2,252 kilometers. I think they could have made this a little bigger over right there on the top. But hey ho, this is what we have. So we're going to run time forward a little bit. And just see what these guys do. The LoveofaWeasel has a lot more acceleration than one of these ships. So this should be capable of bursting ahead and making sure that we can intercept the missiles. But for now, it's going to take a while before we actually get into range. We're 2,200 kilometers out, so we're definitely going to try and catch up. I want you to try and get closer, please. But with these ion engines, you essentially cannot change course. I want you to lock your nose on the target, please. Everybody lock your nose on the target. So that, look at that. That's the acceleration of the LoveofaWeasel. If you have incoming shots, you're at least going to be able to take it. Range, 1,800 kilometers. You are actually running really fast now. That is not exactly the plan. That is not exactly the plan. Defensive posture, thank you. No, not disengage, not ramming speed. By the way, everybody retract the radiators if you haven't already. What's the range? Should be getting in range now, right? It's just that this thing can't exactly shoot. It has point defense weapons which have almost no range. What about the rest of the fleet? The COG has it on 1300 kilometers. Okay. You're going too far ahead, my friend. I have to tell the ship to change course because this is getting out of hand. But it's probably on AI control. How do I take it off of AI control? Release from AI control. Everybody else on AI control, yes? Yes, set AI control, set AI control, set AI control. Thank you. They're still not in range, but soon? They soon should be. Uh-oh. Incoming shots and incoming missiles. This is going to get interesting for the LoveofaWeasel. It could be a really brief existence if these shells actually connect. But the ship is trying to thrust in a bye-bye. Different direction. Oh my god. This thing was trying to survive. It was supposed to survive. And now it just does something entirely different. At least we have missiles going out. That's a thing. You can see that my ships are trying all sorts of funky maneuvering. I'm not even sure what they're trying to do at this point. I'm definitely going to lose a few more ships. That's fine, so long as I can get the rectified rogue dead. And I survive with at least one ship. Let's see. Can our point defense system actually do anything useful? The answer is no. Why? What the fuck? I was warned that these things tend to not want to fire, but this is a bit insane. There goes another ship. Oh, you have to be kidding. This thing is also going to be dead. What the fuck? Could you at least die? Look at this thing just zap all my missiles away. It's not even dead? What the fuck? Victory for the aliens, yeah, I'll say. Holy crap, that was awful. That was awful. So this guy is damaged, but not dead. Okay. Unexpected outcome. Next episode, we're going to try this again. Third time's the charm. Third time, we're going to have all the ships that we need with the now laser point defense that we have. And we should be able to survive. Right? Well, we'll see you next episode. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Sorry about all the fuck-ups. I'm learning as I go. And, well, next time we'll do better. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.